What's good, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Power 2 podcast presented by Get Defensive Sports Network. As always, I'm your host, Jordan. I am here with my co-host, DJ.
Hey, what's cooking good looking?
You know, life. And soon to be Thanksgiving food. Um,
Period. And as a Thanksgiving tradition, we must discuss what we're excited about.
yeah, well, so that's going to be my last 2-minute report. We'll
Bless.
we'll
Okay.
we'll save we'll save the good food for the end.
Yes, period.
Unfortunately, Dante is not here with us for the second week in a row. But that should be
Oh,
fixed next week. The hope is that that should be fixed next week. We will be a triumvirate again, but for now, you just have to listen to
triumphant.
you just have to listen to the two of us. Um,
And you love us. That's why you're here. Period.
yes, yes. So there's a lot to talk about. At the
Quite
same time, there's nothing to talk about. This was a good week of football, but it's just kind of like nothing major happened, and we're so close to the last week of the season, which is, first of all, very
insane.
unfortunate. Very
Wow.
unfortunate. Not loving that. But we're so close
Hate it
to
actually.
this. It's the only way to feel about it. If you don't hate it,
Hate
unless
it. I mean, I'm looking forward
unless
to Rivalry week, so that's exciting, but like,
yeah,
hate it.
unless you're the significant other of a person who is like locked into NFL season and you feel like it's stealing your relationship, you should not love the fact that this is um basically the end of the season. Um Very unfortunate, very upsetting. But because it's the end of the season, this made last week feel sort of there wasn't a whole lot because there wasn't any like major upsets or anything like that. And then on top of that, because this week is coming up, we know that half of the championship games are going to be decided this week. Like I don't think there's anyone that's actually locked up their
No,
championship yet. Like
no.
the ACC hasn't, the Big Ten hasn't because if Ohio State loses or Indiana loses, like they're not in it. I don't think anyone is confirmed in the SEC.
Nope.
Maybe there's one, but definitely not both are confirmed. The Big 12 is not confirmed. So like we have all of these big games because it's going to determine, of course, who gets into these conference championship games, which then of course affects the playoff. But also we're going to have a massive, massive coach hiring and firing cycle. Maybe not firing. Like we may have gotten a lot of the firings done. We're starting to get some things that like coaches are going to get another year, which is going to be our first news item. But
Mm-hmm.
like the dominoes of the hiring and all of that is going to start on Sunday. So with that, right? That actually goes right into our two pieces of news. First of all, as they should have, because there are way too many coaches being fired and there are way too many coaches who have decided that they're not leaving their job. Florida State has determined that Mike Norvell is going to get another year. um, his buyout is like $57 million. And like Florida State is a great job, yes. But in this cycle with so many other great jobs, I'm sorry. I just lost my entire mind
What
because
just happened?
they're cheating the Colts. I just lost my mind. Like we that is okay, sorry. News,
Um,
news, quick news item, if you will. If you do not have
right.
NFL Sunday ticket, you can get it for like $40 or $60, depending on if you've ever had it before for the rest of the season. So,
Period.
as someone who
This
could
is not
not
an ad.
afford it, yeah, as someone who could not afford it for the most of the season, I afforded it today so I could watch
Not I
the
afforded
Colts.
it today.
I could watch the Colts versus the Chiefs, and there have been three, I'm fairly positive, three roughing the passer calls on the Colts just this drive. And the Colts are up, yeah, the Colts are up 14-6. It's the end of the half. If the Chiefs score here and then of course get for two, the game's gonna be tied. There's been three and all of them were bullshit. Like the last one, maybe you could give them because he came in a little low, accidentally, whatever. But the other
Right.
ones, it was like the BS body weight things, and even the referee on the broadcast was like, I don't know about that one. So I apologize. I lost my mind for a second because they keep just giving them. free plays, and first downs. So anyways, Mike Norvell
Right.
not getting fired in 2025, even though he just lost a ridiculous game, very embarrassing. But they decided
Yes.
that it is probably best for them to not be in this cycle, which is probably a good decision because when they fire him next year, mid-season, because he's probably not going to do very good, they're going to be the guaranteed best job on the
On the market at the time. That is true.
so
Um, Speaking of the job market, Mr. Lane Kiffin, is moving and grooving. He's moving around. So LSU has learned absolutely nothing from this Brian Kelly situation, and they have
yes,
offered Mr. Lane Kiffin a whopping $90 million. I don't know for how many years. Do you know for how many years? Is it 5,
they didn't say.
7? Okay, so there's no years on it, but 90
But the
million,
rumor the rumor is that it's 14 a year. So let's see if we can do some
which would
math.
make him the highest paid coach at that point because
Yeah,
no
so
coach is
90
making that much.
yeah, 90 divided by 14 is 6.
Oh,
So
you
it's
college
probably
student
like
today.
6 or 7 years. 6 or 7 years.
Somewhere around there, LSU again has learned nothing because
Mm-mm,
90
nada.
million after you already have to pay Brian Kelly 53 million
Which they're
and
trying to get out
plus
of
your roster
unsuccessfully
is
so far.
25 million. Like,
Well,
where's all
it's
this money
not
coming from?
25 million. That's what they're promising. They're promising to pay like $25 million a year minimum for the roster.
For the roster?
And that doesn't
Where's all
include
this
the
money coming
coach's
from?
salary, like the other coach's salary.
Exactly.
Well,
Where's all this money coming from?
if you asked people, LSU is rich and can afford all of this. I think there's this constant sort of misunderstanding of how much money these schools actually have, but
Yeah.
so, supposedly they're gonna do it. And so what Florida, I haven't seen any numbers from like what Florida's offering him, but I did see that supposedly all three teams, LSU, Ole Miss, and Florida, have agreed to the $25 million a year minimum for the roster. So no one
Whew.
knows what he's doing, but supposedly, well, not supposedly, uh, the Ole Miss AD said that the decision will be made after the Egg Bowl. The
Did
Egg
this,
Bowl
yeah.
is Ole Miss, Mississippi State. That game is on Friday. So the expectation, supposedly from the AD, because who knows if Lane Kiffin's actually going to keep this, he will make his decision and announce it on Saturday
Interesting.
after Thanksgiving. Um, I for this whole time, I've been just like saying that I think he's gonna stay.
And Ole
Now
Miss.
I'm not yet. Now I'm not so
Well,
sure.
hell no, he's taking that 90 million. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
You'd be an idiot not to take
Yeah.
that deal.
I mean, but before that there weren't figures. So before I
Yeah.
was like, I think that he was out of bounds. Before that, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that he's going to do that. It's just like the jobs didn't really like. I don't know. They didn't speak to me, especially with the BS that's going on with Ole Miss. Sorry, with LSU, with the governor and all this other kind of
All
stuff.
that, yeah.
But when you say 90, when it says 90,
90 million.
that one's tough. We'll see. But that's gonna lead to a large spiral of like other coaches and coach news and things like that.
And
So,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Speaking of spirals and money, this is something that's not on here, but the Michigan board has publicly announced their opposition to private equity in the Big Ten. If you guys remember, a little bit earlier in the season, we were talking about the possibility of the Big Ten becoming a private going private basically and what that would mean for all the schools involved. And Michigan has been very, very loud and loud in their opposition to this. And so the newest development is that their Board of Regents released a public statement basically saying that there would be some issues. And then there was also some back and forth with the commissioner as well. So it's getting real tense with this private equity situation. So,
Hmm.
more to come on that.
Yeah. And the sad thing about it, as this is hate week,
USC also
Michigan,
was get theirs
Yeah,
too.
but and that's what I was gonna say though. I feel like the sad thing about this is I feel like Michigan is the only one that's actually against private equity because I'm pretty sure that USC is only against it because they're in the second tier and not the first tier. So like the way it was gonna work is like Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan, which are the three biggest legacy brands in the Big Ten, were in tier one. And they were gonna get like something like $190 million. And then USC and Oregon, who are also big brands that rival those two, but are not originally in the Big Ten, as we know, were in tier two and they were going to get like $150 million. So there's like a 23 or 30, 20 to $30 million difference between like USC and Oregon and Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. And then everyone else was going to get like 130. And so I'm fairly positive from what I've seen that USC's opposition is largely just that they're not in tier one. So like
LOL.
I don't know that they fully oppose it. I genuinely think, unfortunately, that the worst person I know, the University of Michigan, is the
Right.
only one with common sense. Also, so
I
that
will not be.
that's
I will never give them that much credit, but
well, it seems to be that way for one reason or another. Also, just side note, because I'm scrolling on Twitter as I always do to make sure we're up
right,
to date on our
right, of
news.
course.
Um, Supposedly the deal is worth more than $98 million, not 90. Like I thought it was 90. Supposedly it is 98. So for Lane Kiffin at LSU. Um,
Wow,
yeah, that's
that's a lot of cash. That's a lot of
yeah.
cash. That's all I can say to that.
And
Wow.
another piece of quick news. Shout out to Twitter, the worst app known to man, as they keep destroying it. Um, uh, Penn State beats Nebraska, and interim head coach Terry Smith is going to get an interview. Um, and I think this is largely happening, one, because people like him. Two, he's won a couple games, but I think it's largely happening because all of their candidates are off the board, like the ones that they really, really wanted. So now they don't know who to hire.
Uh,
I don't think he gets this job because truthfully, I don't think Penn State hires a black coach twice, even if they love this guy. But at least he's getting a chance. And I believe in most cases, unless it's an NFL hiring cycle, in most cases, if you get an interview, you can sell yourself and you can convince people to give you the job. And so
yeah.
I'm glad that he's at least getting that chance.
Period.
To move away from football for a quick second, uh, one, the New York, New Jersey, which is just a dumb name. I just hate that. Like, I hate that. They should really just do New York like all the other teams in New Jersey. like I get it. You're in New Jersey, but like so are the Jets and so are the Giants and and so are the Red Bulls and so are all these other teams and they don't call themselves the New York, New Jersey. It's dumb. But anyways, the New York Gotham won the NWSL championship. That is
Period.
women's soccer, if you were not aware. And I
Period.
am a New York Gotham fan until they give me women's soccer in Ohio. So this is the second time in 3 years that they won.
Period.
They were an eight seed, so it's technically a major upset through the tournament. Um, from my understanding, they were like a weird eight seed in that they like had some injuries and they had some struggles. So like their seeding wasn't reflective of their talent level,
Of where they're at.
but they
Yeah.
still upset multiple teams to get there.
Period.
And they won their second championship in 3 years. So
Shout out to Gotham. Love that for
and
them.
and last news item that's not on here, but I'm gonna throw you a little lob. DJ,
Yes.
what's happening today in your world? Our world, but really your world.
Is that a trick question?
No. What is your favorite sport that is doing a thing today?
Well, basketball is my
That
favorite sport.
specifically right, that is doing a thing today.
Oh
That
my
also
gosh, the
specifically
WNBA
affect
draft lottery
yes.
is today. I was like, where are we going? Hold on. Because there's something else I'm excited about today, which I know you don't give a fuck about, but I'm excited about. So I was like, I know you're not referring to that.
Okay. Well, now I
Today
wanna know what I'm not referring
I'm gonna
to,
get
but I
to
will
it. Yes, today is
okay.
WNBA draft lottery day. If you guys don't know, the WNBA has in recent years, obviously because of the popularity, made a real dog and pony show out of our draft lottery. It's very similar to the NBA's draft lottery. I said our like I'm in the league. Um,
Hey.
it's very similar to the male draft lottery in that they basically come together and they figure out who the fuck is about to get the number one draft pick?
They do.
And then the subsequent second, third, and fourth. And so there are 5 teams who are kind of in the mix for this, and that is the Dallas Wings, the Minnesota Lynx, Seattle Storm, the Mystics, and the Chicago Sky. With the Dallas Wings having the highest odd for the number one pick, which is hilarious, but also ridiculous if you know anything about Dallas sports. I hate it here. I hate it here.
Listen.
We traded Luca away, and now we have Cooper Flag. And let me tell you something, that young man is losing his ever-loving mind. He really is. He's doing a great job. But the Mavs are ass, okay? They're just ass. Then we get Paige Beckers. Love that for me, okay? Do you know how wonderful it has been to see Paige Beckers in person multiple times in a season? But my good
Jealous.
God. We only won 9 games, okay? It's just struggle basketball. And then don't even get me started on the Cowboys. Y'all already know how I feel about the Cowboys. We play the Eagles today. Pray for me and my mental health, okay? It's just not gonna be that great. But anyways, getting back to the WNBA draft lottery. So today at 6:30, so you would have already seen this. That's gonna happen, and then it's on ESPN, and how they do it is they basically put 4 balls number 1 to 14 in a drawing machine that determines a 4-digit combination that team assigned the combo wins the number 1 pick. The same is done for number 2, and then picks 3 to 5 are determined by record. So this is truly random. They try to make it as fair, quote unquote, fair as possible. But yes, so Dallas Wings have the highest chance. The Minnesota Lynx also have the second highest chance. The Seattle Storm is third, Washington Mystics fourth, and then Chicago Sky fifth highest chance of getting that. So right now, what it's looking like is if we're looking at production of college players and who is even in the mix for these first 5 picks, think about your AZ Fudd, your Lauren
Mm,
Betts, your Flau'jae
mm,
Johnsons. Those
mm.
girls are going to be the people who are kind of on that fray of who could be that first, second, and third pick. Right now, AZ Fudd being the favorite for the number 1 pick. So there could be a potential of a reuniting of Paige and AZ here in Dallas.
Reuniting and it feels
And if
so
that
good.
happens, my gay heart will be so happy, but my basketball heart will be even happier. So let's just hope for good things. Now, granted, we don't know who's really going to be the first round pick, number 1 pick until later on in the season, because Lauren Betts was the favorite for a while. AZ is the favorite right now. Olivia Miles could come through there and become a favorite. So there's still a lot to discuss. Flau'jae right now is floating around the favorite for the 4th or 5th pick. So paying attention to that, because if Chicago gets the 4th or 5th pick, then she may be reunited with Angel. So there's lots and lots of things that could come of this. I'm very excited.
Yes. So, and
Thanks
and
for the
and
lob, because that was all mostly off the dome.
yeah. So here's the thing, right? No one knows the answer to this, but you can at least, you know, guess. So, from my understanding, the Wings have really good guards that are young.
Yeah.
Granted, they are not AZ, but if I, with my limited knowledge, because I don't follow as much as you, were projecting what they need,
They're going to pick
it
Lauren
would
Betts
be a
probably.
big.
Yeah.
So, is there any chance that for the page of it all, and for the fact that I mean, she's just an awesome player, and in any sort of league, you can never have too much scoring.
Hmm.
Is there any chance that they would actually pick AZ number 1, or because they like, and I cannot think of her name,
Lauren
the
Betts.
point no, the point guard that's on their team, the rookie, like the small one. She's really fun. I think she rocks braids.
On UCLA?
Wings. No,
On
on
the
the
Wings.
wings.
Oh, you're talking about JJ Quinterly?
Yes, I knew
Yeah.
it. Yes, because they have Paige because they like her. She had a good rookie year. Is it more likely, all things equal, in your estimation, your guess,
Mhm.
that they probably go with the big?
I think that that's a really interesting question, because we do have Lee Yuru, who is a really dynamic big, and we do have what's that girl's name? Why did her name just leave me? Tierra McCowan. So a third big, rather than a guard, makes the most sense, and that's why it's going to be very interesting, depending on who actually gets the number 1 pick, who goes number 1, because I do think that matters. Like, I think if Dallas got the number 1 pick, like, it's a fantasy world where we could say, okay, they're going to pick AZ, because to me, yes, what we need is a big, and so in theory, they should pick Lauren Betts. Um, but I honestly don't know, because our ownership is they take a lot of risks, obviously, as you can see. So I wouldn't be surprised if they picked up AZ and then tried to see what kind of bigs they could get in the middle of the season or with free agency, because free agency is also a big factor, especially in this draft, because of how many veterans are going to be free agents. So
That is true. That is a good point.
there's gonna be a lot to kind of work through with that as well, because obviously the draft happens after free agency. So then we're gonna have to see where the team even is at that point, because we might get a
Yeah.
great big in free agency, and then we can pick up AC Fudd.
Yeah, stay tuned in the football off season as we
Yeah.
spend a lot of time discussing the power of free agency and
And the
hopefully
WNBA.
the
Yeah.
power of having a job because we are not we are not sure there's not going to be a work stoppage yet, but
We are not sure. We are about
the
9 days away from
uh
knowing what the hell is going on with
yeah
that, because that was gonna be my 2-minute warning, but just a quick update. The WNBA at this point is playing in the WNBPA's face, in the sense that they released this offer that they made, which would raise the salary cap to over $1 million and kind of raise it all up. But what they're still refusing to do is revenue share. They're still trying to have a fixed salary increase percentage and have no revenue share for the players. That means no ticket revenue share. That means no merch. That means no jerseys. That means no nothing. The WNBA is learning nothing. And now they're trying to weaponize the media against the players by making it seem like the players are being ungrateful, because come 9 days, when they say, fuck y'all, we don't want this deal, it's going to look like these women are being ungrateful when really you're playing in their face. You need to do revenue share.
yeah
Okay. It's not difficult. It's
no
not difficult. You're
and
getting, you're up.
literally every league has it so
They're projected to raise upwards of $2 billion in the next year or so. Like, come on. This is not funny. I'm sorry. This is not funny. And these men who are over here on these podcasts fantasizing about how well they could play against WNBA players when they're in 8th grade are getting paid millions to do nothing but sit on the bench and get on our nerves. The least you could do is spread the wealth. Like, I'm so sorry. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Because now we just need to call a thing, and we need to call it what it is. And it's just pure and utter sexism. And I'm going to step off my soapbox now.
yes.
That's all I
Yes.
have to say about it.
I think it's interesting, and you're right about using the media because there's going to be people with lack of critical thinking skills or who just don't care, and they're
Yeah.
going to see current salary is like 220 or whatever it is. You're raising the highest salary for an individual player to $1 million. That's huge. That's 5 times. They should be happy with that. But there's so much more that sort of goes in there. I'm interested because I haven't seen anything. I'm interested to see if they gave up on trying to restrict. Um, what's the basketball league that they didn't want them to be in that just started that's
Unrivaled.
amazing? Unrivaled. If they
Yeah.
try to, if they're still trying to restrict Unrivaled and things like that, but who knows?
I
Who
doubt
knows?
it. I really doubt it. I think that
I
that's
feel like
something
they
that
did
the
have to give
players,
that up pretty
I don't think the
early.
players are going to move on that. But I do think there's certain other things that they're going to have to move on. But what I do foresee is, like, if they really are not trying to give them revenue share, like, yeah, the draft lottery would happen today and that would be awesome. And we may not have a season, because
Mhm.
this is a 10-year, these deals, these CBAs are long term. And so what they sign is, especially now, is so important, especially considering the momentum that the women's game has. Like, they can't just sit and just take whatever crumbs, because the WNBA barely makes money, and like the positions that the other players with the other CBAs were in, they're not
Mhm.
in. So they can't take a deal where they're not getting revenue. Like, at this point, they're losing money. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
And basically, so this is just my one piece of business that people may not fully think about. I get the other reason that the CBA is important, like what you do and don't allow, is because like you're never going to get everything you want. So
Yeah.
the CBAs are typically stutter steps, right? There are things that you say, let's table for the next one. But if you give up certain things or you allow certain things, it puts you in a position where you could never get it, right?
Yeah.
And so the
Yeah.
I can't speak on this fully because I don't remember what it is that they actually gave up, but essentially NFL players are like trying to rally against the league having an 18 game season,
Mm-hmm.
but there's something that they gave up previously, and I don't remember exactly what it is, but there's something that they gave up previously that basically is saying that a lot of people are assuming that whenever the league is ready for an 18-game season, the players can't really stop it. Like they can complain about it, but they can't really stop it because they gave up something in a negotiation to give up to get something else in either the last CBA or the CBA before, where essentially look now like the league is essentially going to be able to bully through an 18-game season whenever they're ready to do that, which will probably be at the end of their this TV deal. And the league has been quote unquote nice by stutter stepping it, going to 17,
So,
which is
yeah,
really awkward for everyone, and
yeah.
then going to do it. But I just remember the conversation where people were like, yeah, they may not like it, but they really can't do anything about it because this CBA or the CBA before, they conceded this for this thing. And so it's all sort of long-term planning. And so if they don't fight now, there's like if they don't get revenue sharing now,
They're not
they're
gonna get
not
it.
gonna get it,
It's
right?
not gonna
Like if they
happen.
don't want to give it now when they're making $1 billion, $2 billion, and their next TV deal is gonna be $5 billion, they're not going to want to be like, yeah, now we can share revenue. Like this is not this thing where it's gonna be like, oh, even if this is what the league is saying, oh, we'll share revenue when we have more revenue. That's not how it works. You have to do it now. Even if the revenue is not where you want it to go, because you know the revenue is going to explode and they're not going to make more money and be like, now we'll give you some. Like honestly, the next fight is going to be for a higher revenue share, which they're not going to want to give once the league is making more money. But they cannot give up revenue share now. Like this is something that can't be tabled
They
because
have to
no
do it.
one's going to be like, yeah, now I'm making more money. Now we'll give it to you. Like that's just not, and that's what the league is trying to say by like, oh, we can't give you the revenue because we're not super profitable or this or that. But it's like, no, you can. And you're going to have to like this is the thing. Like we're not going to give up on that.
And I
So
think that's the thing that people really need to understand is that this is so much bigger than salaries. It's also bigger than money in general because it's also elements of codifying their charter travel so that way they can never take it away again. They can't have it now and then maybe in 5 years decide, oh, we can't afford it. No, we need to codify the charter travel so they never have to deal with traveling publicly again. There's there's codifying professional standards for facilities. Teams should not be allowed to exist without the players having a facility of some sort, whether it's a shared facility with the other professional team in the area or
mhm.
it's their own dedicated facility. Like we're talking about, retirement, family planning, pregnancy is not considered. They don't get maternity leave. They're classified as injured when they're pregnant. That's ridiculous. They
Yeah.
should have a maternity leave and a system for maternity leave and a pay structure for maternity leave and structures in place for when they retire, especially if they're retiring due to injury. Like there's just so many more things in this CBA and they have the most leverage that they probably have ever had.
Yep.
But yeah, a lot of the things that they're asking for now, it's now or never. It's do or die in so many different areas. So that's the other thing. I think the biggest misconception in the WNBA, in my opinion, is playing into it is that all of these negotiations are just about money.
Yeah.
It's not. It's about a lot of other structural things within the league as
Yeah.
well, including the scheduling and the fact that they stuffed 44 games in the same time period that they would usually play 32, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah,
The only thing I would say to what you're saying is we don't know what they've already agreed to in those areas.
yeah.
And so it seems like the sticking point is really the revenue share. And there's a chance that they've agreed to 95% of it. And the only thing left is revenue share. And there's a chance that they've agreed to we
We
don't
don't
know.
know. Yeah, we just don't know.
But the one thing we know for sure is that revenue share is a large sticking point. But to your point, there are other things that matters that just should be bare minimums
Bare minimum.
um, for
Or and
professional
roster limits
sports.
as well is
Yeah,
also a part of it as well. The injuries are an issue because there's only 12. College rosters aren't even
yeah.
that small.
No.
So,
And
yeah.
yeah. And not at all. And then the last thing is just like so much of this is built off of men's sports and men don't take maternity
Yes.
leave, even though they
Yes.
should take parental leave. They just don't, especially in the NBA. So that is something that they're like, hey, we're not men. You do have to do this for us.
There's
Like you
extra
can't
things for us.
like yeah. So yeah,
Childcare, all of that. So,
uh,
and with Unrivaled being coupled with it, now you have a lot of players who are on the Players Association, and even the VP of the Players Association is a founder for Unrivaled, who now understand that there is a standard that is absolutely reachable. So there's just no excuse from the WNBA. Like with certain things, there's just no excuses. And now certain things just have to be codified. This should not be just a nice little perk if a team has this versus that. Like teams that have facilities specifically have a competitive advantage over teams that don't because of how not well taken care of WNBA players are. Like I don't mean to laugh, but like a player should not get traded and the first thing she talks about is how much more available food is. What are
yeah.
we talking about? Anyway,
Yeah. So this will be a thing, of course. Hopefully, unlikely, but hopefully we'll get good news in a week or so and we can just do that.
yes.
But otherwise, this is something that we'll be talking about for a while. Last thing that I have to say, Megan Thee Stallion's boyfriend Klay Thompson is hilarious. Um, Klay Thompson he's not a trash talker at all,
No, he's
unless
not.
you sort of force him. There are two times that I can think about him talking trash. One did not work for him. It's when he went to the media and said that LeBron got his feelings hurt, and then LeBron came back 3-1 on his ass. And then now,
Yeah, yeah, that was a time.
Ja Morant, where's Ja? What does Ja think? Do you do you know that joke?
No,
Okay.
no.
Um, so I think it's a Dave Chappelle joke.
Well,
For
I
there's
definitely don't
something
know the damn
something
thing.
something happened, and someone was like asking Ja his opinion, and Dave Chappelle was just like, nobody cares what Ja's think. Like when something happens, that we're like we're supposed to be like, where's Ja? We need Ja's opinion on this. It's funny, but
That's
anyway,
funny.
so John Morant, who likes to wave guns at kids' faces and not play basketball because he's always injured,
First of
um,
all, he does
tried
play
to
basketball.
tried to talk trash about Klay Thompson, and I have not heard this yet, so we're going to live listen to this together. This was Clay's response.
He's a funny guy. He has a lot to say, especially for a guy who rarely takes accountability. But you know what? That's a real savior on this occasion. Nothing of intelligent uh, depth. It was really just his just running his mouth, and he's been running his mouth for a long time. And it's funny to run your mouth when you're on the bench. It's kind of the story of career so far, just leaving us wanting more. You know, we all want to see him out there and do his best, but he's just been letting a lot of other stuff get in the way of that. And we need that. We need our best players to be out there. And when you're a star, it comes with a great responsibility. I hate to see that go to waste. That with y'all.
he, he said, "Hey, hey,
Hey,
when you wasting your talent, don't talk to me.
he
Like
said,
when
"You can leave me alone." Here's the thing about Clay. I feel like Clay has been in a real clapbacky mood lately, especially since he's been Meg Thee Stallion's boyfriend. Because did you see when Pat Bev, which I need him to stop talking on the internet, and I might actually get my wish because why is he choking out his little sister? But
ooh,
when Pat Bev was talking to some other washed up basketball player, I don't know who, and they were talking about how Clay wasn't doing well because of Meg. And basically saying like because of their relationship or whatever, even though y'all don't know them, but because of their relationship, that's why he wasn't playing well. And Clay commented on it and he was like, "Don't bring my woman into this."
yeah,
Basically, like,
that I don't count because like Clay don't seem like he's gonna let anyone talk about his woman, especially when
yeah,
his woman has been talked about a lot. But like
especially,
he doesn't typically like refer to things like about himself. But
yeah.
I almost feel like with him, it's sort of like the LeBron thing, where it's like I'm old,
And I don't care
I
anymore.
have my
Yes,
rings. I
exactly.
don't care.
I don't give a
I
shit.
don't like. I
I
think it's
love when
partially
players
that.
start to not
Yeah,
care.
because we're getting that more with KD. Like
Hmm.
KD has always been like quick on Twitter, but like
Yeah.
now he's one getting like slightly more aggressive, but he's also like talking about it in like interviews and things like that now. Like it's I think with some of these like
KD does
older,
not give a
they're just
damn.
yeah, it's just like once you reach a certain level, it's just like okay,
You're just like, y'all know who I am. Or
like
even
so
though you know who else doesn't give a fuck is Russell Westbrook. I live for it. I know that his career has been we can have lots of comments and things to say and whatever about how he hops teams, his attitude, whatever. We know who Russell Westbrook is though, at the end of the day. He's written in the history books forever. He goes, I'm the best rebounding guard in the history of the NBA and just looks at
yeah.
just looks
Well,
at the report and I'm like, he's not wrong.
yeah.
Like he's not wrong.
He's not. I didn't read it. Like someone sent it to me and I'm like, I just don't care. Like I have a couple of friends that like send me everything about LeBron and I'm like, I don't care about LeBron as much as you think I care about LeBron.
I think it's just
I
the
just think
Cleveland
that
basketball
he's the
thing.
GOAT. Like so it's like leave me alone. But I guess Russ talked about LeBron in his book because
Oh, did he? Oh.
He said LeBron was fake. And I'm just like, I don't care.
Honestly, I could
Like
see it.
like this doesn't mean anything to
I
me.
could see it. I could see it.
It was something about like it was something about, like, how LeBron talks in the media versus,
Mhm,
like, him in the locker room, and my
mhm.
thing with I have 2 things to say about this, and this
I
is
mean, you're
not to
supposed to be
defend
different, I
this
would
is
imagine.
yes, right, and specifically when you're LeBron, right, like, you can't go out and dog your teammates when First Take watches you sleep at night so
Oh
that
my
they
god,
can
and they hate
comment
you.
on you. So, like
Literally.
yeah, maybe he says something in the media and then doesn't play that way on the court or doesn't live that way in the locker room, but, like, he can't.
Like,
Like, what is
he
he supposed to do? Is he supposed to go out there and it's like, "Russ, you weren't playing good." Is LeBron supposed to go out there and be like, "Yeah, Russ is
yeah,
playing
Russ
like
did great.
dog shit."
Oh,
Like, no, like he was basically just like, I believe, like it was basically like the I believe in Russ. You have to let Russ cook. He's gonna figure it out, sort of thing, or
yeah.
something like that. And like Russ was like, "Yeah, but that's not how he's in the locker room," or something like that. And I'm like, but like, is he supposed to go out there and be like, "Yeah, Russ is old. He's not playing like shit. He's trying to shoot jumpers. He's
I
never
can't
made in his
stand this
career.
nigga,
He's
actually.
like it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah." So no, maybe he's fake. And like Russ also does this like. I think there's also this thing with like men, especially because like I'm pretty sure like the way he acts, I'm pretty sure Russ is affiliated. How affiliated, I won't, gang affiliated is what
Oh,
I
that
mean.
type of affiliated,
How
yes.
affiliated, I won't
Who
conjecture, but
knows?
like
Yeah.
the way he acts and the things that he does, especially like Kendrick's pop out and things like I think he's affiliated. And there's this thing with like people who are affiliated where like they also like I'm always real all the time and I don't do that fake shit. And it's like LeBron's not affiliated. He's also more famous than
LeBron is
you
also
and
a
he also
global
has things to
superstar.
to do. So like no, like maybe he didn't like talk to you in the streets like and I'm not saying that Russ was trying to like fight him like that's not what I'm getting at but like no maybe he didn't like talk to you in the street and man or whatever you wanted but like y'all are different and also you're not LeBron even though you were a Hall of Famer you were a great player even at your highest of heights you weren't that so like to
I
like
think it's
but also to be like yeah LeBron is fake and then write about him in your book is also kind of
that's
hilarious so
so
like what are we talking about like
that is
because
so cringy.
that's the tough guy thing to do it's just like no, like yeah, I don't think Steph acts in the media like he does in the locker room. Like I
I don't
don't
think a
think
lot
these
of people
people do
act in the
that.
media the
They
way they do
don't.
in the locker room. That's what's confusing to me is like,
Yeah.
why are we singling out LeBron? Like, because even, the same thing with like, I feel like there's times where you can almost hear it in her voice. Like Asia Wilson, like when
Huh.
she's herself and like when she's like doing an interview or a podcast or whatever, like, like you just have to put on a certain like face and voice when you are in front of it's called being media trained. Like it's
Yeah.
called being media
Essentially.
trained. Sorry, like
Essentially.
I know that I know LeBron probably be in that locker room cussing niggas the hell out. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. When you're that good, you're allowed to cuss niggas out in the locker room. Like I don't doubt he's coming in here like y'all niggas is about to piss me off. You do this, you do this, you do that. Like
Yeah. Like
I'm not gonna sit
what
here
are
and
we?
lie. I would have to go back and really listen to some interviews, but I have never heard anybody who's ever played with LeBron to say in the media, "Oh my gosh, he's such a great leader. He talks to all of us so nicely." Like, I've never heard anybody say that about
It's
LeBron.
all but the funny thing about it is it's like everyone's like, yeah, if you looked at Jordan wrong, he'd punch you in the face. He's such a good guy. And it's like, and it's just like, what?
Like,
I'm so, and also like, I just have this thing with all people. Like, I'm sorry, I don't need my celebrities to be nice. Like, I just don't expect people with billions of dollars to be nice. Like, I
I
don't
don't
expect
expect
them to be
anybody to be
good
nice.
people.
This being nice
I'm
is
if I was LeBron James and I was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and also I had freaking people making $1 million careers off of me, yeah, I would be mad if you was trying to fuck up my legacy. Because at the end of the day, they don't say, hold on, let me ask you a question. What's Kyrie's record in the finals? Do you
off the
know?
top of my head, I have no
That's
idea. I
my
think it's
point.
like 1-1.
Hey, that's my point. You don't know. What's Kevin Love's record in the finals?
Whatever LeBron's is. I don't know.
Getting what's what what is like we don't know, and so yeah, if I'm LeBron, hey, you're fucking up my legacy. Like
Yeah,
they're
this is
not
not
saying
me.
they're not like as it is. Like they're not saying, yeah, well, Kevin Love is 1 in blank in the finals. Dwayne Wade is 2 in blank. Like nobody says that. Like nobody, literally no one says that. But everyone can tell you LeBron at any moment in U.S. history, someone can tell you LeBron's
Not the
record in the
U.S.
finals.
history.
So it's just like
Not these
I,
United States.
you want the common people to be mad that LeBron was mad that you fucking sucked? You haven't been good in 5 years. Like, hey, like, unless he's slapping you around in the locker room, which maybe you would like because clearly Jordan could get away with it. I don't care.
Screaming. It's
Like, you
just,
think,
it's also like this tell-all book energy is so like,
come on.
ew.
Do you think I think Steph Curry
Smell like
was
bitch in here.
cool?
It
Look,
smells like
you
bitch in here.
You expect me to believe that Steph Curry didn't get on Jordan Poole's ass? Like, you're not me. Stop shooting that shit.
Pass it
Like,
over here.
you want me to think Steph Curry before he got traded was just like, hey, Jordan, you went 3 for 30 tonight, but keep shooting, buddy. No, he was like,
He
I'm
was
on this
like, nigga,
goddamn
hand me
team.
the rock.
Like, you are
Don't
not
do that
Steph
shit no
Curry,
more.
dog. Like, get the fuck. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's just like, oh,
Ah,
no, LeBron was mean to me. Like, oh no,
But
Steph wasn't nice. Like, I don't
also,
care.
also the irony in like Russ being the one to be talking about this, like, nigga, you can't tell me you're an angel in the locker room and you ain't never,
Like,
you be
come on.
cussing out folks on the court. So I know
Yeah.
you cussing niggas out in the locker room. Why are you over here making it seem like,
He was just mad because he couldn't cuss out Braun.
right, like what?
like I'm sorry. Like, anyways, football.
Anyway, we have spoken for 40 minutes about everything but college football, which is how you know, number one, we're actual sports people, and number two, we're actually friends with each other now.
Yeah,
Speaking of the
football.
power of friendship.
Yeah, the power of responding to a text message. I was trying to text my friend yesterday about her SMU Mustangs smacking up Louisville. Like, just belt to ass. Just pick a switch. Like, go outside, pick a switch, and it better not be small. It better be the right size. And yeah,
Wow, the
like it
abuse
was
that we have experienced in the Black
switch
community is crazy.
switch to not belt, switch to ass. And if you don't know what a
Whole
switch is, good. Just
good. We're
accept the
not even
fact that you
explaining
don't
it.
know.
We're not even explaining it.
SMU beats
What a time to be
Louisville.
alive.
Yeah, SMU beats Louisville 38-6. This is huge for multiple reasons because one, SMU, as you have discussed, was struggling a little bit earlier in the beginning of the year. Their defense wasn't as good. Their offense wasn't as good, which to be accepted, right? They expected. They lost a lot. They had a really good team last year,
We did,
and
yeah.
that team had sort of built to that, right? Because that team was good the year
Yeah.
before they got to the ACC. So some of that was, but over the year they have gotten better as you hope,
We're on a slow
which
incline. Yeah.
which sort of is also a big thing for next year, right? Like you think like they're going to be even better next year because their young players are getting a lot of things, but to be peaking at the right time is great. We'll talk about this in a second, but with this win, they essentially control their destiny for the ACC Championship to get to back-to-back ACC Championship games, and to this time they would have to win the ACC to get into the playoffs, but
Yes.
potentially back-to-back playoff berths. So 38-6 for them. OU,
Damn,
Oklahoma.
can I have a comment on my own team?
Yes, sorry. We was yapping, so we was just gonna run through it. My bad.
Damn,
Yeah,
hold on. Let me
talk
at least
about
talk
your.
for the things I can talk for, because some of these I don't give a damn about the rest of these other folks. Yes, we have struggled offensively and defensively, but one thing I will say is we do have the most takeaways in FBS, so
Dang.
don't get it twisted, okay? 27 takeaways so far. But yeah, it really was a Kevin Jennings day. Like, and that's what I love is when he gets a moment to actually shine, because there are some other players on our team that's really, really great. We have a wide receiver. I think his name is Jordan Hudson. I think his first name is Jordan, actually. He's fantastic. We also obviously have RJ Maryland. Like, we're humming and we're clicking at the right time. I'll be honest. I didn't think Louisville was going to beat us. Respectfully.
But I didn't think it was gonna be 38-6.
But I didn't
either.
think we were going to win like that either. That was a very high scoring game for us. So the biggest thing is like going into the situation with Cal. Like, Cal has given so many other teams hell. Like, we got to have our wits about us. And this has been the first time that we've had an away game after Thanksgiving, and I don't even know how. So it'll be interesting. But Go
Love
Mustangs.
that.
I
Go,
personally don't feel like getting on no more planes, trains, and/or automobiles.
but
I
she
have been
gonna be
traveling
on
a lot
both.
on behalf of this football team, but, I
Yeah.
didn't get to go to Charlotte last year because I got sick 2 days prior. I was slated to go to Charlotte last year, but I didn't get to go, so hopefully we do get to go to the championship that I get to go and I get to experience it, and I am chuffed about it, so
Yeah.
and if not,
Hopefully
we're gonna get
next
a
year.
great bowl game. Like, if we don't win, we're gonna get a great bowl game. Like, we're eligible for Mayo Bowl, Pop-Tart Bowl,
Yeah.
like, all these. So, hopefully, even if we don't get that, I'm manifesting Pop-Tart Bowl because if y'all listened to us last year, y'all know that is my favorite bowl, hands down. So,
Yeah. Oh,
that's all.
yeah. Um, yeah, so that's
You
good.
watching football
Happy.
and talking is sending me.
Well, I was gonna say it wasn't even actually related to the football game. I was gonna say something and I just didn't need to spiral. We know that the NFL allows sexual abusers to continue to play football.
Jesus Christ. Yes, we know.
Yeah, and then so I was trying not to say it, but then you noticed and whatever. So we won't comment on it. But SMU, I think this is huge. We'll talk. You know, we're gonna try to be a little bit more structured in the off season to like talk about like long-term football conversations when while also talking about basketball and other things. One of the things I hope to talk about is sort of where SMU is at because this is huge for them, especially because they're keeping their coach. And not that like a lot of people could have really thought that they were going to be a flash in a pan, and they're building off
Yeah.
of that. Um, and it's not that they're going to be this team, like, you know, are they going to make 3, 4, 5, 6 straight ACC championship games? That no one really does that anymore. But like, this is big for them. Um, OU Mizzou in a shitty game.
Oh,
Oklahoma wins 17-6. The only reason this is on here is because Oklahoma is now one more win away from being 10-2,
bleh.
which means that it's not a guarantee, but they're very, very likely to be in the playoffs. They are the number 8 seed. So if they go 10-2, I can't really see them dropping them.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, they lose, but it's probably unlikely that they lose.
That
So
puts them in the SEC championship at that point then, right?
no,
Huh? Huh?
it does not. The SMU the SEC championship, I think is really only between 3 teams. I think it's between Alabama, Georgia, and Texas A&M. I think, and the reason why, like I mentioned earlier, where I was like, I think the SEC may be locked up, and that I think Texas A&M gets in no matter what now.
Yeah, I think A&M does get in no matter what,
So
but
like, I think they may have one, and then I think and then I think Alabama's above Georgia. But if Alabama loses, Georgia gets in. I think it's how it is. So I think there's only 3 teams for 2 spots in the SEC.
it
We'll come
says
back to that.
Texas
We'll
A&M,
save it,
Georgia.
because we have conference championships in a minute. Let's just get through the games. Notre Dame, Syracuse.
I have so many questions. Oh, that was pure smack uppery. Just ass whooping. Just
Points before the offense took a snap. A pick six, a punt return touchdown, and another pick six.
sweet
Like,
Mary.
and obviously
That
you
is
have to
so bad.
obviously you have to play the game, but when it's that bad, it's literally just like you could have
It's
just not played your
demoralizing.
offense. And then to make it even worse, Jeremiah Love, who great player, and honestly probably should win the Heisman because I don't think any of these quarterbacks really should win it. And unfortunately, Julian Sand's not going to win it because his stats have dropped because he's been playing without his wide receivers for 2 weeks. And at this point, Ohio State was like, "Hey, we just want to win the game. Like, we'll get you the Heisman next year." Um, but Jeremiah Love has been amazing, especially in the last couple of games. He had 8 carries for 100 and something yards and like 2 or 3 touchdowns, and then he just stopped playing because why do you need to play anymore?
It's like, we're
like,
done. Thank you.
yeah, like thank you. Like that was literally fucking
Snaps for the young guys. It was
video game
practice
stats.
for them. Oh, well, that
It's
too.
hard to do that in the video game. Yeah, it was 8 carries for 171 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's really insane. I love that for him specifically.
Yeah. So, uh,
I hated it for Syracuse. Hated it for
yeah.
them. But I just looked at the score. Like, I had gone to get some pizza. I came back. That shit said 49-0. I said, where do we go from
Huh?
here? Where do we
Nowhere.
go from here?
Nowhere. Yeah.
Where are we going? Like, I am so sorry to that man. Sorry to them
Yeah.
Syracuse fans. Ooh, child.
I don't remember if I said this already because I've said it with friends. I don't remember if I've said it on the podcast. I fear that we are We are essentially Ohio State and Notre Dame being the two best teams in college football right now, which is very unfortunate because the way the bracket looks like it's shaping up, it looks like Ohio State versus Notre Dame is going to be a second round game.
Yeah, yeah.
And that sucks because I
It
really
should be the
want that
championship
rematch
game.
in a championship. But it does not look like we're going to get that. But it does look like there's a very good chance that we get an Ohio State Notre Dame rematch. I also believe that if Ohio State beats Notre Dame, they're going to win a national championship. If we get there, because I'm so seriously like I think Notre Dame might be the second best team in college football,
No,
and
seriously.
Marcus Freeman would be like fighting for the best coach in college football if he could win in August. That's his only thing. He does this every year. He loses a game or two he shouldn't lose in August, and then it's like, well, if you lose another game, you're not going to make the playoffs. And he says, okay, we just won't lose again.
Exactly,
And
like,
it's
it's
like,
fine. We get those
it's
out the
like,
way at the beginning and then just
it's
chug
like, all
along, like,
right.
it's alright, like, I I
It's like
agree with you, I do
there's a
think they're the second best, team in the I almost said NFL, second best team in the league right now, and who wins between y'all 2 if y'all end up playing, yeah, that's who's winning the championship at this rate because Ohio State has been my favorite to win the Natty this entire time, um, and I don't see any other team really genuinely giving them a run for their money except for Notre Dame, so
Yeah, I know you can't like change the bracket and things like that, but I
yeah,
really
that
do hate
sucks.
that. Like
Yeah.
and I know you shouldn't do it like that and you have to do like the best teams and things like that, but like especially if it's just like one seed change, I wish that they would do certain things. Like if it's like, okay, 7 and 8, right? The 8-9 game is the one that plays Ohio State. So like if you could make the case for Notre Dame to be 7, like if they're 9, they're 9. But if they're 8, could you make the case for them to be 7, and then you put them on the other side of the bracket, and like that's
Yeah.
how
I
I
mean,
think
they have
about
that
it.
level of control. It's not like it's
Right.
just based on seed. It's not just based on record. So it's like,
Yeah. That's
hopefully they do think through the entertainment value of it all, but
but I don't think they do.
we'll see.
Speaking entertainment value, Oregon USC, that was actually a fun game. The problem is Oregon threw 2 interceptions, and so
OMG.
USC ended up running away at the end. It was 42-27. USC is just better than sorry, Oregon is just better than USC. Like that's just where they
I
are
was
right
like,
now.
what?
That's just where they are right now. USC has still some room to grow. Oregon should have won that game, and they did win that game. I think this is big for Oregon though, because Oregon has had an awful schedule, which is not
Yeah.
their fault. I would like to keep saying this, like, and one thing, like, there's a difference between intent versus like results. Ohio State tried to have a hard schedule. It just didn't work out. The team
Mhm.
sucked. Like Oregon it's not really their fault that their schedule was like the way that it was. Um, but there was rumors, and I don't think that this would have happened, but people were saying that if Oregon was 10-2, that they may not get into the playoffs. I think a 10-2 team in the Big Ten gets in no matter what. But they were just saying that there
Yeah.
would be a conversation between Oregon and other teams because their schedule isn't good. And so, how is that not roughing the passer? But if the coach breathed on Patrick Mahomes, it's roughing the passer.
Because if
I
anybody
think
breathes on
that,
Patrick
uh,
Mahomes is roughing the passer. If
like,
I'm breathing on Patrick Mahomes is roughing the passer. If
yeah,
somebody accidentally drops a drop of water in the stadium when he's walking in from the locker room, they're roughing the passer.
yeah, if you wipe the sweat off his brow too much as the equipment manager, it's roughing the
You're
passer.
roughing the passer. If you shove the Gatorade bottle just too far into his helmet, you are
It's
roughing the
like,
passer. Like,
Lord.
Jesus
Um,
Christ.
yeah, so Oregon
Sorry.
Oregon wins a game that they should win, and they essentially solidify themselves in the playoffs. There's a chance that they could lose to Washington. That's still going to be a good game, but I think that they're in. Texas Arkansas.
Oh
This
my
game
gosh.
was like weird in the beginning, and then Texas like woke up. And I don't think that we're talking about Texas enough because like how their thing went, and then they lost to OU, which they just shouldn't have done. So like they're out of the
I feel
playoffs,
like we
right?
stopped talking about Texas when they lost to OU. I was like, there's
Yeah.
nothing else for me to say.
Yeah, but they're out of the playoffs. It's fine. It is what it
Yeah.
is, right?
But
But
Arch Manning had himself
Texas,
a game, man.
yes, Texas has been getting better, which is what you hope. That
Yeah.
we sort of talked about Arch a lot, and that I think that he's talented, but he was young and he wasn't
Yeah.
as good as people thought he was. That doesn't mean he couldn't be a good quarterback. He's working himself into a good quarterback. He still
Yeah.
has some flaws. He still has some things to work on. It's also not great for Texas that they gave up 37 to Arkansas. There's some questions about their defense, but Texas is fighting. Arch is fighting. Arch had 6 touchdowns, 4 passing, 1 receiving, and 1 rushing. He's the first player, I think, in Texas history and has to be one of few ever to do
Very
that.
few to have that many different types of touchdowns in one game.
Yeah. So, shout out
Yeah.
to that.
I
Yeah,
love that for him, honestly, because there was a lot going on, and we've spoken about. I feel like we've been very respectful in the way that we speak about Arch. Like, I never wanted to get too high on him, but I never wanted to get too low on him. I never wanted to feel. I didn't feel like he was just trash and ass, and oh my god, what's going on? But I also am not going to sit here and act like he's God's gift to football just because he's in the Manning family. Like, I think we can stay somewhere in the middle on this. So I am genuinely happy that he's improving. Like, it would suck if we were this far in the season and it was ass. Thanks for
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad he got to prove that, like, it's in him, and it's
right.
just a matter of, like, being consistent.
Yep. That was the third non pass roughing the passer call on the Chiefs that they didn't call. So love that.
Crying.
Utah, Kansas State. This was one of the best games that I've watched all year.
Wow.
Also one of the worst games that I've watched all year. There's like a level of shootout that's like fun, and then there's like a level of shootout where you just feel sad. And this was kind of one of those games where like occasionally I felt sad. Utah gave up 476 rushing yards, but still won the game. And in a way that doesn't make sense. They won the game.
Wait, I need to look up the stats, 'cause
They
what?
won the game. Yes, they won the game 51-47.
Jesus,
On a
Mary.
4th and 1, their quarterback Devin Dampier ran for 59 yards to set up the game-winning touchdown. Um, yeah, but yeah, they gave up 470
Jesus.
something rushing yards and still won. I don't know that that has ever happened. Like, and it looked like it was going to be a blowout. This is awful for Kansas State, to lose this game. But Kansas State was 5-5. This win for Utah keeps them, albeit unlikely, it keeps them in the race for the Big 12, and it keeps them in the race for a playoff berth.
No way
Um,
that young man is named Joe Jackson. Oh my.
Yeah. So he ran for 293 yards on 24 carries and 3 touchdowns. They probably would have won the game if they could throw it all, but their quarterback went 12 of 23 for
Yeah, 102.
102 yards.
Yeah.
Less than ideal. But yeah, it was a game where it's like, man, great game. And also I kind of feel bad for
Oh,
you.
and there was a fumble. Oh, well, there was 2
Yeah.
fumbles.
A lot going on. A lot going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow. I think I was watching what was I watching at this time? I was watching somebody else.
Yeah. Pitt beats Georgia Tech
Oh,
42
I
to
was watching
28.
Pitt and damn Georgia Tech. My
There
good
you
God,
go.
let me tell you something. I have been walking around my motherfucking office all week telling everybody because, SMU, our athletics, social media. Wow, I can't talk. SMU athletics social media posted about our chances of getting into the ACC Championship and the scenarios that would be required. And one of them was Pitt beating Georgia. That's like the main thing. That's the main one that most of us had known about was Pitt
Mhm.
beating Georgia. And I'm like, y'all, is there another one? Because Pitt not beating Georgia. I was like, respectfully, Georgia Tech, excuse me. Respectfully, Pitt is not beating Georgia Tech. Like, I know, like, that would be great if they did, but like, please, we have to be more realistic. I was not prepared for the pure and utter smack uppery that I was watching. When they scored 21 points in the first quarter, I said, "Oh, what is
Mm.
going on? What the hell is going on between the sheets in my home? Like, what is
Listen.
going on?" Like,
What the hell is going on between the sheets and my Oh,
serious. I was
Jesus.
dumbfounded. I said, "Where these niggas come from? Like, hold on." And, you know, I just wasn't ready. And I don't think Georgia Tech was ready either. Now they did do a good job. They really did try to rally there in the end, which I can respect. But wow. Wow, Pitt.
Yeah.
That's all I
And
can
it,
say.
it's funny because for whatever reason, he still should not have said this, but Pat Narduzzi last week was like, I don't care if we lose to Notre Dame as long as we win the next
Win the
2.
next 2?
So there was a lot
Yes.
of jokes on like, well, you better win the next 2, and then they smack him up. And the
And
next one is
smacked
Cal.
up.
Anything can happen, but they should beat Cal. So like Pitt should win out. BYU Cincy. BYU needed to win this game I don't believe that it locks anything up. The tiebreakers and things in conferences are weird, but if they would have lost this game, they definitely weren't making it to the Big 12 championship game. Now
Yeah.
they are most likely going to make it to the Big 12 championship game, and it also keeps, which I think is unlikely because of all the SEC teams that are going to be 10-2 unless we get an upset or two. Which please, like, come on, like LSU, please do something. Um, but it keeps the remote possibility that the Big 12 could get two teams in if BYU beats Texas Tech in the rematch, and then Texas Tech gets as an at large, which essentially they just need the ACC thing to happen last year, where Clemson beats SMU, but SMU had such a good season that they still get in.
Correct.
That's what they need. I cannot root for that because I don't want Mormons to win anything, but
Okay.
um, yeah. So, San Diego State, San Jose State. I just have to put this on here because San
Because you
Diego
know I
State's
didn't watch
head
that.
coach, yeah, San Diego State's head coach is the former head coach at Kent State. I will talk about this forever because he won at Kent State. If you can win at Kent State, you can win anywhere. San Diego State has not been good, and I think they have 9 wins now, which
San
is
Diego State?
huge. Yeah, which is huge. Like, yeah, they're 9-2, and I believe his second season there. This guy is just a great coach. Sean Lewis, just a great coach. And again, I will say again, if if
Not to
there's
laugh.
any working brain cells in that brain of yours, he should be UCLA's next coach. He should be
Period.
UCLA's next coach. 2 minute drill, which is going to be
Two
much longer
minute
than two
drill.
minutes, but hopefully not too much longer, but much longer than 2 minutes because nothing makes sense
2 minute drill.
in the world. We are going to start with the ACC
Oh, shall we?
and
We shall.
discuss conference championships and tiebreakers. So we're going to start with the ACC because that's the only one that I think actually had a story written about it. If I could find it, I probably
Uh,
should
well,
have.
yes.
You know,
There are 6 teams in the hunt currently, kinda. Oh, while you're looking, yes. There are 6 teams sorta kinda in the hunt. Virginia, Pitt, SMU, Georgia Tech, Miami, and Duke. Because basically what's gonna happen is, like, if all of us start losing in some weird, stupid ways, Miami and Duke are still kind of out there as, like, possibilities, like, if SMU loses to Cal or if Virginia loses their next game or Pitt loses their next game, then we all would have 2 losses, and then there's gonna have to be a whole lot of tiebreaker backroom political nonsense that we hopefully don't have to go through.
yes,
So, with that being said, as of right now, the most likely matchup for the ACC would be Virginia and SMU if we both went out.
yes.
And that
So
is mostly because of Pitt beating Georgia Tech last night. Because if Georgia Tech would have won last night, they
they
would
would
have
have
stood at
secured their
their
spot.
spot.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So basically, and we won't go through all of these because this is ridiculous, but the most likely, like you said, Virginia, SMU, all that takes is SMU beating Cal, Virginia beating Virginia Tech. The next most likely is Virginia Pitt. All that takes is Virginia to beat Virginia Tech, Cal
And
to
Pitt has to beat
lose,
Miami.
and Pitt has to beat Miami. Then it's Virginia Duke, which takes more. I'm only going to read two more. Then it's Virginia Duke. Virginia would need to win, Cal would need to win, Miami needs to beat Pitt, and then Duke needs to beat Wake Forest because Duke somehow has I don't think they played Miami, but Duke is above Miami in the standings. And then the last one sorry, yeah, okay. How Miami gets in, whew, Virginia needs to win, Cal needs to win, Miami needs to win, Wake Forest needs to beat Duke, and NC State needs to beat UNC. That's a lot of things, and Syracuse needs to beat BC. That's a lot of things that need to happen. Miami's
But
not
it's
getting in.
possible, and that's the gag.
Yes. And then the last one I'll read for Georgia Tech to get in, now that they lost, Virginia has to win, Cal has to win, Miami has to win, Wake Forest has to win, NC State has to win, and then Boston College has to win. So again,
To
if
even it all out, basically. Yeah.
yes,
But it's
and
still possible. That's
that would create a three-way tie. But the most likely, especially based on who they're playing, is that SMU and Virginia,
Virginia. Yeah.
and then
SMU Virginia is the top. prospect
Yeah,
right now, unless Virginia Tech beats Virginia, and then we're looking at SMU Pitt at that
Pitt.
point, I believe.
Yes. Yep.
So,
It's really a
regardless, in
three-man
theory,
race
we're
for
supposed to
2
be the one
spots.
that makes it.
Yeah. And again, you're playing Cal, so, like,
Yeah.
knock on wood, because college football is weird, but SMU should most likely will beat Cal. So SMU is sort of the lock. Virginia Tech is
We have an
another weird
84%
one.
chance at this point of making it.
Yeah.
So,
Virginia Tech is a weird one because it's a rivalry game. I'm sorry, SMU Cal's not a rivalry game. It's a weird one because it's a
it's not,
rivalry
no.
game. And so maybe Virginia shows some life. Sorry, Virginia Tech shows some life, especially because they want to impress new head coach James Franklin. So we'll see.
Virginia Tech has been booty cheeks this season, but to the Big
Yes.
12, because last year the Big 12 was like, oh my God, last minute of the last week of the season. And now it's pretty clear it's probably going to be Texas Tech, BYU. Arizona State is still kind of on the fray, but it's more than likely going to be Texas Tech and BYU. They both have to win to get in. So they're in a good position. They control their own destiny. Texas Tech plays West Virginia and BYU plays UCF, excuse me. So they just have to both win those games and then they're in. Um, I'm trying to look and see. And basically, if Texas Tech loses, they lose the tiebreaker with Arizona State. So then it'd be Arizona State and BYU if Texas Tech loses.
Yeah. So, yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, is there any other freaky ones in that conference?
It just looks like Utah did win, but they're on the wrong side of the tiebreaker with BYU. So it's
Unlikely.
only, yeah, it's very unlikely. Texas Tech only misses, like I said, if they lose to West Virginia. And if BYU wins and Arizona State beats Arizona, it'd be
Yeah.
Texas Tech
So
and BYU.
Texas Tech could
Yeah,
technically lose and still get in.
they could
Um,
lose and probably get back in. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. To the
Moving
Big
on to the
Ten,
Big Ten.
Indiana is in the Big Ten, Indiana is winning in, but like Texas Tech, they have two ways to get in. If they lose to Purdue, which is unlikely, and Ohio State beats, hold on. Yes. If Even if they lose to Purdue, if Ohio State beats Michigan, they still get in. So they're winning in, but they had sort of they're the most likely to get in no matter what. Ohio State has to beat Michigan,
Michigan. Mm-hmm.
and then they're in, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon has to beat USC and Washington. So they have to beat Washington, and Ohio State has to lose. So essentially, it's basic. The most likely is Ohio State, Indiana. If Ohio State loses, then Oregon gets in,
Yes, Oregon
and
needs
then
Michigan to beat you, and they need to beat Washington. Yeah,
Michigan gets in if they beat Ohio State.
and if um
I
Oregon
think that's it.
loses, they have to beat Ohio State, and Oregon has to lose to Washington in order for them to get in.
That's not
That's
what
what
this
I'm reading.
says, but I think that's more likely. Yeah, I think that's more likely. So it's again, this is another one where it's really 3 for 2 spots. It's Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon, unless something really, really freaky
Really
happens.
crazy happens. Yeah.
But it's most likely those ones. And then the SEC. So I really think the ACC is really the only like crazy one.
Truly up in the air. It's
Um,
like the Big 12 last year. Yeah, like this one is like, child, I don't know. Talk to us again next week. We don't know. Because the SEC is very similar. Like it's winning in situations. The four teams that are in the hunt at this point are A&M, Georgia, Bama, and Ole Miss. With the higher chances being Bama and A&M. If the Aggies win next week, they're in. If Bama wins next week, they're in. They're both rivalry games. So Texas is playing Texas A&M and Bama is playing Auburn. So those will actually be good games because they have stakes and they're rivalry games, which we'll get into in the screenplay. But where some of this, what the interesting part of this is, Bama would win a three-way tie with Georgia and Ole Miss because they have the higher opponents percentage in the SEC. So if Bama loses and Ole Miss beats Mississippi State, Georgia goes to the SEC title game. And if A&M loses to Texas, then they need Auburn to beat Bama and Mississippi State to beat Ole Miss in order to get in. And if none of those things happen, then Georgia goes in. So Georgia's going to be rooting against a few teams in
right,
order to try to get in without their own controlling of their destiny, basically.
right.
Um,
But Texas A&M and Bama are winning in, right?
They're winning in. Yeah, I just said that. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
both winning
Okay.
in. Yeah,
Okay.
because they're both undefeated. Not undefeated. I think are they both undefeated in the conference? Did I just make that up?
Uh,
Texas A&M is. I don't know if Georgia's. I don't know if
no,
Bama's undefeated in the conference.
no, because Bama lost to someone.
To OU. Yeah. No.
Yeah, they lost to OU, but they beat Georgia.
Yeah. Okay. But that's what I'm saying. They lost the conference game because that's their only loss is OU.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's basically again, it's I think this is also sort of 3 for 2 spots because Ole Miss can get in, but Ole Miss is the least likely to get in.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
they need more to happen to get in.
They need a crazy amount of things to happen. They need to win their game against Mississippi State, and I think A&M and Bama have to lose
Yeah,
in order
because
for
I
them to
think
get in.
A&M is in even with a loss
A&M is in with a loss. Yeah.
because they don't have a conference loss. So
Yes, they're in with the loss, but Auburn would have to be Bama, and Mississippi State would also have to be Ole Miss to knock them out
yeah,
in order
yeah,
for Texas to be the highest ranked one-loss team.
yes. So we're looking, we have some scenarios. We're getting down to it. The most
It's
likely
coming down
games,
to the wire.
yeah, the most likely games are Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M,
Bama,
Alabama, uh, SMU,
Virginia.
Virginia, and BYU, Texas
Tech.
Tech.
And
If
if y'all
things are
care
chalk.
about the American, more than likely the American is probably going to be Tulane in North Texas,
And we do care because the winner of that one is most likely getting the playoff spot.
the G5 spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of scenarios with the American because there's 3 teams that have one conference loss, Navy, North Texas, and Tulane. So we're looking at highest chance being Tulane and North Texas, but Navy could sneak in there with a couple of different scenarios. But those 3
Yes.
teams are on the fray for that G5 bid into the playoffs.
Yes. And I would just like to say there's been a lot of people who complain about the playoffs and things like that. And they just sort of ignored in the beginning and still ignore now how we were, because they were like, oh, the regular season's not going to matter. The regular season's not going to matter. I saw a
Matters.
tweet. And I think it's true, although I haven't done the math. There are roughly 20 games this coming Saturday that will have some sort of implication on the playoffs. Because it's not even just like, oh, like we talked about the conference championship game because that's the easy one. But like, there can be major changes, right? If Tennessee beats Vandy,
Mhm.
Tennessee beats Vandy, Vandy doesn't get into the playoffs. That could allow a second Big 12 team in. If LSU decides to have a pulse and beats Oklahoma, that knocks a team out. That could get if Michigan beats Ohio State, now the Big 10 could have 4 teams in. If there's so many things that sort of affect this, what happens if Georgia Tech beats Georgia? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Huh.
there's so many
There's
things.
a lot that's still at stake, which is what makes this week fun. On top of the fact
Yes.
that it's rivalry week, so it's like even if there weren't that many games with consequence like rivalry week
It'd
is
still be
always
fun.
fun. It's
It is.
double the fun. If only the Holy War was this week. But anyway,
Thank
I
you for
know.
saying it,
I just
because
wanted
I
to
was
tee you
going to
up.
say
I
it.
was gonna tee you up.
There's
I already
no way, and on God's green earth,
not
that
God.
the world's foremost religious rivalry game is not happening during rivalry week when they're in the same conference. And I would just like, for the sake of clarity, just in case you all were wondering, Utah for rivalry week is playing Kansas. Tell me how that makes sense. BYU for rivalry week is playing fucking UCF, which is somehow worse than Kansas because you could at least say Utah, Kansas, they're close to each other. You could make up some sort of a hate by like state location. BYU's
Makeup
playing a
hate is
team in
crazy.
Florida. And to that end, while we're talking about it, why the fuck is Kansas and Kansas State not playing each other during rivalry week?
No, why not? I'm confused. He's like, actually, while I'm at it.
Because
Oh my
and
goodness.
this was the thing that like like I understand we lost certain rivalries because of conference realignment and certain
Yeah.
things, but we gained other ones. Kansas State should be during rivalry week because what the fuck not? And the Holy Wars.
I know.
Let's talk about the games that are actually happening.
Yeah, let's talk
On
about what's coming up.
Friday, the day after
Yes.
Thanksgiving, when we will all be in
On
a food
Black
coma.
Friday,
Black
yes.
Friday. We
And the only thing I
have
will be on Friday is black because I'm not shopping.
hey, listen,
Actually, I'll be on the
listen.
plane. I'll be on the
Oh,
plane
that
on my way to
sucks.
Cal.
You're gonna miss a lot of good games, but you can catch
Um,
up when you get there.
well, we have a night game finally for the first time since week 1, so I'll get to see most of the games. Anyway,
Got you.
sorry.
Yes,
Screenplay.
we have
Yes, Friday. Sorry.
screenplay. On Friday at noon, we have the Egg Bowl, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. You should
Why
watch
is it
that
called
game.
that?
I don't know. Someone can tell me, but I don't know. That's one of the worst names. Like, I'm sure there's a reason for it, but
Oh,
I
we
don't
will
like
find it.
it.
You just wait. It
Yeah. So
is. Oh, keep going. I will give you information.
So we have Ole Miss, Mississippi State. We've already talked about this. Ole Miss. First of all, this is big because, of course, Lane Kiffin's going to announce his thing afterwards. The funniest thing in the world would be for
Could
him
happen.
to lose that game and then leave leave Ole Miss the next day, and everyone's going to be like he lost that game because he was thinking about his new job. Also, I don't think that knocks him out of the playoffs if they lose, but it just makes it really uncomfortable. So that game matters for playoffs. And then we also have Utah, Kansas, which Utah needs to win if they have any hopes of getting into the playoffs, but this should be Utah, BYU. At 3:30, we have Georgia, Georgia Tech. This game's lost a little bit of luster because Georgia Tech has decided to not play defense for the last 3 weeks, and
Good.
Georgia has been a really good team for the last 3 weeks. But Georgia Tech was not a good team last year, like to the level that they were this year, and they almost beat Georgia, and it went to 17 million overtimes. So there's still a chance that Georgia Tech could show up for this game. Maybe they were resting for this game. Um, so that's at 3:30, and then the night game on Black Friday is Texas A&M Texas. Which do I need to say anything?
Hello.
Like, I know because Texas lost, it does a little bit less because now Texas can't get into the playoffs, although they're going to try to if they're 9-3. But it's still and I think also Texas A&M has locked up the SEC Championship game appearance for the first time, which we talked about. But it's still a fun game. It's still a rivalry game. It's still a game that we're having for the second time in like 2 decades because they weren't playing each other. Um, and so that's going to be a fun game on Friday. And I've talked a lot of trash about the SEC and for a lot of reasons, but the one thing that I will say, one of the good thing that's sort of good God, he tried to kill that man. One of the good things that did come out of the SEC going to ESPN by itself is ESPN is a jealous little thing, as
Oh.
they typically are. And so they wanted to play games on Friday because Fox had a lot of good rivalry games on Friday. So because of that, that's how we get Texas A&M on Friday, and that's how we get Georgia Tech on Friday. The Egg Bowl, if I remember correctly, has always been played on Friday. But as you can see, like there's a good SEC game in all three windows because the ESPN yeah, that's Friday.
So the Egg Bowl is called the Egg Bowl because basically they have been playing this rivalry game since 1901. And when they first started, it was kind of like lopsided, like Ole Miss was winning a lot. I believe. No, sorry, Mississippi State was winning a lot. And so after Ole Miss had broken a very, very long losing streak, they tore down the goalposts and all these things. And a really, really large fight broke out, and it was not great. There was lots of wooden chairs thrown, people were injured. It was a hot mess. And so basically their injuries to players had happened, students were injured, there was a lot that had happened. So basically some student groups came together and came up with the idea of coming up with the golden egg trophy, so that way it would like reduce the amount of conflict that came out of the event. And so it was members of Sigma Iota, which was an honorary society, and they proposed that the trophy be awarded in a dignified ceremony to calm excited fans. And so then, because they came up with the Golden Egg Trophy, it then got dubbed the Egg Bowl. So
And
over the years.
in theory, that makes sense. But what that doesn't answer is why an egg?
No, and I'm trying to figure out why an egg. Um, it says,
Are
as
they
previously agreed in the inception of the egg, the school first sang their own maters. The winners sing first, captions of the teams. Like they just came up with this.
like they came up with a tradition, which is great, but like, why an egg?
Of course, first possession of
Are they
goal.
like big like chicken states? Like Are they like chicken
I
farming
don't know.
states or something?
The joint resolutions, they needed a trophy in order to affect a better understanding in athletic relations, to foster clean sportsmanship, and to promote a lasting tradition. Uh, the trophy, to be called the Golden Egg, would be a regulation-sized gold-plated football mounted on a pedestal. So it's a football, and they just call it the Golden Egg.
Okay. I don't like it. Moving on. I don't like it.
But yeah,
That's dumb.
that's what they call it, the
That's
Egg
dumb.
Bowl. You know,
Oh,
you learn
look, I
something
bet
new
you this
every
is
day.
another roughing the passer on Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
no, it's
to
face
our
mask. It's face mask.
last 2-minute
Saturday.
report. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had gotten through all the games while I was
No,
looking
those
at
are
them.
just on Friday. Those are
Oh,
just
shit.
Friday
Okay,
games. Yeah.
sorry.
This week is stacked.
Saturday at noon, we have the game that will be stressing Jordan out all fucking day, and that is Ohio State versus Michigan. If this is your first time here, welcome. Ohio State can't beat Michigan for some fuck ass reason, and it bothers Jordan every year. Would be the 5th year in a row if Ohio State loses. So we just
And
don't need that to
if
happen for a lot of
God
people's
is
mental health.
just.
This would not be good for a lot of people's mental health if Ohio State loses this game. And if you don't want to hear about it for 45 minutes next week, root for Ohio State.
You better hope God is good, boy. Because
If God is just,
I-
now we have Miami and Pitt also at noon. So if Ohio State, Michigan is stressing you out too much, switch over to this game because this one might stress you out as well. This is going to be ass ball, okay? This is not going to be fun football to watch. I want to be clear. However, game of consequence, okay? Y'all just heard us explain all the shit with the ACC. You might want to watch this, especially because Pitt seems to be on some sort of rampage and Miami is supposed to beat Pitt. So here we go. Miami's already shit the bed by losing to SMU. Let's see if they can get it. Let's see if it will go from worse to worse. Now for the midday. Vandy and Tennessee. This is going to be fun.
Both, well, okay.
No, the next one is not going to be fun. That's also going to be ass ball. This is going to be fun.
I was going to say both of these games are going to be shit, but you said fun, so I'm going to let you rock with that one.
Vandy and Tennessee is going to be fun because I like Diego Pavia.
Okay.
That's why it's fun for me. He's a fun quarterback to watch. I don't even know who the Tennessee quarterback is. What is that young man's name?
Yep.
Okay. So regardless, that's going to be fun.
He transferred from UCLA, I can tell you that. Joey McGuire, something like that. Something. He has a name. He's a guy.
Well,
with a name.
That one boy in orange. So there's that. And then speaking of ass ball, but again, games of consequence, LSU and OU. And that is happening.
In case you are unsure of where your loyalties lie, we are rooting for Tennessee here. Sure, I understand that for some it would be a good story if Vandy makes the playoffs, and I'm all for Vandy making the playoffs next year, but they need to lose so we don't have 5 or 6 SEC teams in the playoffs.
In the thing,
we also need to be rooting for LSU to beat OU for the same exact thing. I will say, if you're like, nope, I really need Vandy to win this game, fine. But LSU has to be like Vandy and OU cannot win for the sake of the nature of college football.
Yeah.
Vandy and OU both cannot win. And then the evenings.
Yes.
Evening slate, we have Bama, Auburn, SMU, Cal, Virginia Tech, Virginia. All of those games. Well, SMU Cal is not a rivalry game. 2 big rivalry games, 2 big in-state rivalry games, and also 3 games that all have playoff implications
and conference championship.
Conference championship game implications. So those games are huge.
Period. You will be entertained on Saturday. Like, hang out, get your sandwich with your leftover things that we're about to talk about and put it all together, kick your feet up, relax, do your online shopping. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Oregon, Washington should have put on here that game at 3:30. That game also has consequences because, again, it's unlikely, but if Oregon loses, there may be questions about their resume. Yeah. Yep. Penn State Rutgers is playing for a bowl game. So if Penn State needs to win to get to a bowl game, which we didn't expect to say Penn State.
I know. Penn State, what a fall from grace.
Yeah.
What a fall. It's been truly hard to watch. Anyway, last 2-minute report. I don't know why we
Mm.
were sitting here talking about what it's going to be. We are literally going to talk about Thanksgiving. So, for
Mhm.
Thanksgiving, we
Mm.
need to discuss the perfect plate, first of all. So, a
Yes.
perfect plate for me consists of ham,
Uh-huh.
mashed potatoes,
Okay.
dressing. This has been those three things have to be on my plate ever since I was a child. When that was the only thing on my plate, those three things
Alright.
have to be on my plate. Cranberry sauce, whole berry,
Lost to me.
not
Lost to
jellied,
me. Lost to me,
whole
but okay.
berry cranberry sauce. Yes, made if possible. I would rather it be homemade. Yes. What else? Oh, greens and or cabbage, whichever green vegetable that has been stewed with some sort of smoked meat will do
Uh-huh.
for me. Uh,
Mhm.
hot take, y'all not gonna like it. I'm sorry. I don't care who made the mac and cheese because it doesn't matter. I'm not eating it.
Ooh,
Uh,
what? No, no,
doesn't matter if there's eggs in it
you
because I'm
can't
not
just
eating it.
you can't just throw that out there.
Doesn't matter
You
if it
can't
has
just
breadcrumbs on top or regular cheese on top
no,
because I'm
no.
not
First
eating
of
it.
all, even if you're not eating it, all those things matter. Breadcrumbs do not go on mac and cheese. Like,
Don't
these
matter to me
things
because I'm not eating it.
why don't you eat
I'm
mac
not
and
eating it.
cheese?
I don't like cheese. And to me, mac and cheese is not that special. It's just cheese sauce and pasta. Like everybody needs to take
You
a deep
know,
breath.
here's the thing. I don't like cheese either. I don't. I don't like I very rarely eat cheese. Um, but and everyone's like, "How do you not like cheese but you eat mac and cheese?" And I say, the only
Yeah.
thing that I can answer is that the ancestors told me I had to.
Okay.
Because it
So
doesn't make sense
my
because I
ancestors
don't
have
like
not
cheese.
told me that.
My ancestors were like, you cannot eat cheeseburger. You cannot eat cheese on broccoli. You cannot like cheese in your pasta. You cannot like too much cheese on your pizza. If I order a pizza by myself, I get light cheese.
Light cheese.
You cannot like cheese in your eggs. You cannot like cheese, but you are black and you
That
will
is
eat mac and cheese.
torturing yourself for our ancestry is crazy. But no, the mac and cheese will not be on my plate. So sorry. But you know what will be on my
Insane.
plate? Candied yams. Those
All
will
right.
100% be on my plate.
Okay.
And then usually, so I am Texan, so a lot of the times my Thanksgiving dinners do include some sort of barbecue. So brisket, or if there's barbecue wings, or
Mm.
sometimes they'll do sausage or anything like that. Like I'm gonna have some sort of barbecue, and then I love a good roll, Hawaiian to be specific. Or, and this is a very, very niche thing, but the brown and serve rolls that you get at the store specifically at this time, I love me a little brown and serve.
You know,
And another hot take, they can all be on the same plate. I don't mind if it's touching.
no.
Yep.
So I have a thing with touching, but it's not like everyone's thing with touching. It's things with juice. So
Juice.
like
Yeah, I will put my
greens,
greens in a separate
my
bowl.
greens have
Yeah.
to be in a bowl.
Yeah, I'll do that
And
too.
I do have to like organize my plate in a certain way. So like for example, I eat like 3 people on this entire earth's potato salad. It's really 2 because I don't like potato salad to me
Okay.
is not that good, but like my
It's
mom
not,
made
no.
a good potato salad and Zaria's mom makes a good potato salad. But like for example, in the plate mattering, the potato salad can't touch the yams. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a deal. Like if the potato salad touches the chicken a little bit, like fine, but like I can't have my potato salad touch my candied yams. So the plate does have
Specifically
to
the
get
candied yams.
well, yeah, like that's a flavor profile that just doesn't work. So like
Yeah,
there is like
a method to
some
the touching.
level of like organization of it,
Okay.
right? Like there is just certain things that just can't be allowed to touch for the sake of the plate. But in general, things can touch. But like greens have to be in a bowl. Like I don't want soggy things. Greens have to be in a bowl. So I was your plate done? Can we go to mine?
Yes. Oh, there's also fried chicken sometimes available, and I'll also be having the fried chicken.
Got you,
Yeah.
got you, got you. No turkey.
I hate that dry ass bird. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I hate her.
Got
I
you.
hate every part of her. I've
Mhm.
tried every part of the turkey. I can't do it. I've tried many different methods: fried, smoked, barbecued, everything. I can't do the turkey. I'm so sorry. I've been off turkey for like 15 years now. I can't do it.
Got you. Well, I agree with the turkey. I won't say hate. It's just not my
It's
favorite.
just nasty, and it don't
And
taste like nothing.
Zaria's family actually does not eat ham all like that. So I started bringing my own ham at Thanksgiving because I will not have Thanksgiving without ham.
It's
And while she does
necessary.
not listen to this podcast, shout out to my mother-in-law because she bought me a ham today.
Oh, bless her
I
heart.
asked Zaria, I'll typically bring my own ham and I'll probably give her the money for it. But like we don't live in Ohio anymore, so like I can't bring a ham from New York. So I just asked her like when
Just
she
put it in
goes
your
shopping
carry-on.
to pick well, we're driving, but like I would need a
Oh,
cooler and all it just doesn't make sense.
oh,
And I
yeah.
was worried that by the time we get there, there won't be any more hams in the store. So I just asked her to pick me up one, and she did. So my plate, have to have ham,
Period.
have to have mac and cheese.
Boo.
This is an adult edition because we didn't have this, but Zaria's family does. Has to have fried chicken. We didn't have fried chicken, but her family always has fried chicken.
Mm.
Have to have collards. Got to, preferably, and ham hock. But I do understand that some people are health conscious, so we use turkey leg. But it don't matter
Smoked
which. It
turkey
got to be
legs or
smoked
wings.
meat.
Yep.
It's got to be smoked meat.
Something smoked.
Greens and a bowl. And a bowl. Again, because of where I'm eating, I want to be clear. I do not eat this everywhere, but because of where I'm eating, gotta have deviled eggs. Because Zaria's mom's deviled eggs are so good. Have to have some form of yam, but at candied or sweet potato casserole.
Oh, I love a sweet potato casserole.
But at where I go, they do not do candied yams. They do sweet potato casserole. But if there's both, I will have both.
I will have both too.
You do not put two bad bitches against each other. What are we talking about? Like,
sometimes you need the little marshmallow on top. Sometimes you need it. Like, it's so good.
So we do not do marshmallow. Her mom does pecans.
Oh, okay. A little crunchy topping,
so
that works
good.
too.
It is like the marshmallows is good. Don't get me wrong. But I will say, I just saw this video. It has to be this baby marshmallow. I saw this video of someone who made sweet potato casserole, and it was the big ones,
with the
like
fat ones,
the jumbo one. It has to be the baby.
No, it's too much.
My mother-in-law does pecans, and so good, so good. All right, so I've
never made sweet potato casserole. Do I want to do that this year?
You should.
I'm going grocery shopping tomorrow, probably. So I'm like, ooh, do I want to do sweet potato casserole? I never do it.
As I'm probably getting yelled at by someone. Pecans. And corn pudding.
Oh,
got to be on there. Is that it? Is that the plate?
Dressing? No dressing or stuffing?
I do not eat dressing.
And you reacted the way you did to meat and mac and cheese, and you're not eating dressing. That's like the one thing that everybody of every race in America can agree on is some sort of dressing or stuffing.
All right, well, stuffing is not dressing, for one.
I mean, but I'm saying it's the same concept. It's the same thought process. It's bread. It's soaked up bread and vegetables. Everybody needs to calm down. It's the same concept. Like,
no.
What?
I do not eat dressing. I do not.
Let me tell you, I am a slurt for dressing. I love dressing, but here's the thing. As I've gotten older, and actually it's been like this for a while, I only like my dad's dressing and my mom's dressing. My dad and my mom both can cook very well, but their dressings are different, but they're so good in different ways. So my dressing recipe is basically an amalgamation of both my dad's and my mom's.
Got his ass.
Okay.
Sorry.
Of both my dad's and my mom's.
Okay.
And then my grandma, when she was cooking, she made the best dressing as well. But I don't eat everybody's dressing, like, because some people, they be making it too wet and too soupy, and I like it almost kind of like a solid, not a block, but like it needs to be a little bit more solid. It's not supposed to be all wet and mushy. And I like my vegetables a little bit chunkier in there, so it feels, dressing is so good. I love me some dressing. Now, that's the ideal plate on the day of. The next day,
I think, hold on, we can't do next day.
Wait, why not?
Dessert. What are you talking about? What's the dessert plate?
Oh my God.
What's the dessert plate?
Right. Okay, so dessert for me is going to have to be sweet potato pie.
Okay.
Go argue with your granny in the comments about pumpkin pie, because I'm not eating it.
So that's another thing. Zaria's parents, they do pumpkin.
My mom does pumpkin, but I like sweet potato. So I used to, when I was younger, my mom would only make a pumpkin pie. She would never make sweet potato. So I would be suffering at home until I went to go visit my dad. And then when I go visit my dad, I took like half of a sweet potato pie home because I don't want pumpkin pie. I want sweet potato. So sweet potato pie. Also little mini pecan tarts. We usually have those, these little tarts.
Those are not, I do not always see those, but those are good when you have them. Yep.
Love those. There's usually always some sort of cake. So if there's a strawberry cake available, I'm going to have that. 7-Up cake, any type of pound cake, I'm going to have that.
Yes.
I don't do pecan pie.
I do not.
And if you guys notice, I do switch back and forth between pecan and pecans.
Same. It flows in the sentence. Whichever one works best. It's
very colloquially. It's a colloquial decision. It depends on where the flow of the sentence. Okay. What else? Anything that's chocolate, I'm also into. Sometimes we'll have a cookie available every now and then. Like, I have a family member, she just kind of gets a smorgasbord of like desserts from the store. So
which we'll allow, but they should be made from home. But we'll allow that.
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm sorry, but the store-bought cakes have been getting good these days. Like the store-bought 7-Up cake is good, so I'm not mad at it. But yeah, That's usually where we're going with the desserts, but sweet potato pie is a must, and I always make one every year, so that's why I was like,
Okay.
"Oh, I could do casserole because I'm gonna buy a bag of sweet potatoes anyway."
Do both.
I might do both. I might do
No.
both.
Okay.
See, now look at this.
Sorry. Because you're not paying attention, I just have to say the Colts gave the ball back to the Chiefs down 17, up 20-17, and old Patrick Mahomes was, of course, going to score a touchdown. We sacked him, got off the field, got the ball back. We got the ball on the 50-yard line, and on 1st and 10, if we score a touchdown, the game's over. If we get a field goal, at least it makes them have to have a touchdown instead of being able to tie the game and go to overtime. And on the first play, fucking Daniel Jones tried to throw an interception. We're
Lordy.
on the 50. You just need like 15 yards to get a field goal. Don't piss me off. My
Right.
desserts, Daniel, my ideal dessert. So there's also, so obviously the ideal dessert depends on what's there. But if we're
Right.
talking about an all-star roster, if I could determine what was going to be there every time, so it could be on my plate, need cheesecake, which is not
Mm.
always there. That is the wild card because cheesecake is not always there. But if a cheesecake could be there, if we're talking about the all-stars where I could pick and choose, cheesecake.
Mhm.
Need pound cake,
Mm.
preferably with a lemon glaze.
Lemon.
I'm married into a vanilla glaze family though. It is still
Oh,
good. It is still very, very good. But preferably again, we're talking all-star lemon glaze. But if we have pound cake this year, it will be a vanilla glaze because that is the family that I'm married into. Apple pie,
oh, yes. I forgot
apple
apple
pie,
pie. I
apple
forgot apple
pie.
pie.
And
The
honestly,
bad
I
bitches of
could
fruit pies.
yes, honestly, I could probably be done with those two, with those three. The other thing that could rotate, right? Because there has to be things, but like if the pound cake's not there for some reason, I will take an angel food cake with a
Mm.
strawberry glaze, strawberry like a strawberry sauce. Um, what else? I don't cookies cookies of any type are typically good. Um, and
Well, I have a
then
banger that I forgot about.
am I missing one that is like typically there? Oh, mm,
I have a banger.
banana pudding.
Oh, I'm allergic to
Banana pudding.
bananas, so I can't enjoy, but I have a
I
family
will
member, she
have
makes a good banana pudding.
I will have banana pudding on your behalf. I'm so sorry that you're
Yes.
allergic to bananas.
One I
Banana
forgot,
pudding. Would you
peach
forget?
cobbler.
Oof. Yes.
Peach cobbler.
So the thing with peach cobbler, though, not everyone makes it the same.
No, no, a good yeah, you need a good peach
And
cobbler.
so I'm a peach cobbler with the crumble on top. Like
Oh, I need
it's like
crust.
a
I need
see,
crust.
okay, so that's the thing. I didn't know that they were always doing it. And so I learned that it may actually not be called a cobbler. Like what I'm talking about may not be called a
It's a
cobbler,
crumble, you're talking about a crumble.
but there's like everything is the same. It's like the peaches, the brown sugar, and all this and all the things. But it's like I don't know like I don't know what even makes the crumble, but it's like a crumble instead of like
The
a
full
pie.
blown, like
Yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah,
so.
yeah, you're talking about a
But I will
crumble.
take either. I will take
No,
either. But
warm spicy peaches with something on top.
if I'm asking, I do want it with the crumble on top.
I
I
want it
like
with
the
the crust.
crunchy. I like the
Yeah,
crunchy. I like my apple pie with the crust. I like my peach cobbler with the
with the
crunch, the
crunchy.
crumble. Yeah.
I also, my stepmother makes caramel cake, and her caramel cake is the best thing ever. It is so freaking good with some ice cream. Oh my god, like, I could actually nix all the desserts and just do sweet potato pie and her caramel cake and be happy.
You listen, y'all should thank the lucky stars if you have someone in your family who makes caramel cake. I do not like caramel cake because it's too much caramel, but my wife will make a caramel cake occasionally for her father. It's his favorite cake. That is a labor of love. That
Oh
is
my
one
gosh, you
of
gotta
the
sit on the stove for
hardest
40
cakes I've
minutes.
ever seen, and it has to be perfect because it can't harden too much, but it also like it can't be too hot as with all things, but it also has to be like malleable enough to get on the cake, but it can't.
Yeah,
It is
it's
hard.
not
Like it is
easy.
hard. Like that is one of the hardest things I've seen her make. So if you have someone in your life that makes a good caramel cake, you should be very thankful of them because that is a very, very tough cake to make. And I
Well,
think
yeah.
that's it. Now we can wrap it up. Second day. My second day is very, very limited. I'm not sure if everyone's like this. I just go straight for the top. But what is your second day plate?
So my second day plate is I will almost always eat like another like traditional side type plate again, but then after that, I'm wrapping it in everything. I'm putting it in a roll, I'm wrapping it in a tortilla, I'm making tacos out of it, I'm using the ham and my eggs to make breakfast, like, I'm very, like, inventive, but my favorite thing to do is to make a grilled wrap out of it, and I'll
Okay.
put, like, cranberry sauce, as a dipper, and I'll put, like, spread the mashed potatoes on it, put a little bit of greens in it, dressing, put the ham in it, some people would put cheese in it. I'm not gonna do that, but if you wanna do that, you could do that, but I do like the more, like, sturdy things, like, nothing that's too
Okay.
juicy or squishy. Maybe put a little bit of sweet potato in there too, and then wrap it, grill it, and dip it in, the cranberry sauce, and it's
Okay.
my favorite way to eat the leftovers.
Okay. All right. They're on the 2-yard line. If you let them score, I will never be a fan of this team again. Okay. So my second day plate, very bare bones. I could honestly get away with 2 things, but it's typically 3. It is mac and cheese,
Oh my god.
it's ham, and it is the sweet potato casserole. Like
Mhm.
those are the hits. There's almost never fried chicken left, but if there's fried chicken, because I'm also doing the plate, not hypothetical, because you got to know it's typically there.
What's yeah.
Because if they were there, it would also be deviled eggs. Deviled eggs never make it through night 1.
Yeah, no.
But if they were there, then I'll throw a couple deviled eggs on there, and I would do fried chicken. But those things almost never make it past day 1. So of what is typically left on day 1, if I'm feeling frisky and it's just like I'm feeling generous, and it's not because it's not good, because I do love it. You just gave up 50 yards. If I'm feeling frisky, I will throw some corn pudding on there. But
Mm.
that may be my second. That may be my third plate. Like the first plate is lunch. If we still have it for dinner, I mean, but the lunch plate, it's just ham. It's a sweet potato casserole, and it's mac and cheese. Need
You
that.
gotta love it.
And depending on how I'm feeling, almost always the ham is a sandwich.
Mhm.
But it's typically a sandwich if there is Hawaiian rolls. If there's
Mhm.
not Hawaiian rolls, it's not a sandwich until the 3rd day. The 3rd day, the ham gets put on any bread that's in the house. Like
He
the
was like,
3rd day
if there's
the
tortillas,
3rd day,
English
the
muffins,
ham
bagels, whatever we
yeah,
got is
the
what we're
whatever
using.
is in
Cinnamon
the
raisin
house, the
bread,
ham
whatever.
like, yes. But on the 2nd day, if there's Hawaiian rolls, I will make a
Little slider.
yeah, a little slide.
Oh, I'm so ready to eat, let me tell you. Well, I'm genuinely excited. This is another part of my 2-minute warning, and then I'm done, I promise. It's happening right now, that's why I'm really about to be done. Shador Sanders gets his first start today in the NFL, and at this point, I am rooting for him because, like, what is actually going on? What is going on? Like, why are we acting like he just sucks when that's not true? So yeah, Shador's playing football today. I'm very excited about it.
Well, I mean, he was like 2 for 16 his last game, so he does kinda suck, but, um,
But those
I
he
just
also hasn't done reps with those people, which is crazy.
no, 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 it's not. That's how the NFL works.
That's
It's just like
and again, that don't make it
the
less crazy. That's just how it works.
yeah, but the thing is, like, when you're paying someone $50 million a year, they get all the
Duh,
practice
of
reps.
course, I know.
Like, so, like, it's for me, it's just like the whole Shador thing is annoying because, like, he's not really an NFL quarterback right now, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But this wouldn't matter if they didn't pretend like he was an NFL quarterback to begin
Yes.
with, and then also he's not fucking dog shit either. But
He's
like
not
it's just
he's a
like
rookie.
he's not really a good quarterback right now. That's fine. But also there's so many like people are learning things about football for the first time, and that's annoying. Throughout
Mhm.
the history of football, backup quarterbacks have never gotten reps. They just don't get
Mhm.
reps. But now people are learning that for the first time with Shador Sanders. So now because it's Shador, the Browns hate him and won't give him reps. And it's like, no, they just don't get reps. Like do you think like what Russell Wilson right now is not getting reps for the New York Giants? He's
No.
not. He's a third string
Yeah.
quarterback. They don't hate him. He's just a third string quarterback. So the whole thing with Shador is just kind of annoying because it's like there's so much up and down on him in general, but then also that people were like learning things for the first time, and then based on their feelings about him, they're commenting
They're
on it.
doing the most.
And it's
Yeah.
like, I promise you, they don't hate Shador. They're not giving him reps because they're race. It's none of that. He's the backup quarterback. And to begin the year, he was a third string quarterback. That's not how it fucking works. Like you don't get
Yes.
reps.
I just was
And
pointing
that's
it out because I'm like,
also
I think that with time, it's not gonna be like that. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, and that's
But
also the NFL's players' fault because they got fucking lazy and they decided they didn't wanna practice anymore. That's why the NFL sucks for the first 5 seasons because no one knows how to tackle because they don't fucking practice in the offseason. You practice more in high school than you do in the NFL. They put it in their collective bargaining. So if you wonder why don't they get practice snaps? Because they play like 15 fucking snaps a day.
and that's,
They don't
the
fucking
show. Thank you
practice.
guys so much for listening to Power Team.
NFL players watch fucking AI. It was like we talking about practice and put it in the fucking thing, and that's why they're always injured, and that's why that's why no one can fucking tackle. That's why none of the offensive line is good because they can't develop offensive linemen because they don't get any fucking reps because they don't practice. We will catch you next week. Next week we will be here. Next week we will be here on Monday because one, I will be driving 9 hours home on Sunday, and also I just want to wait until all the news happens. Like it is, of course, it is fun to like react to things live. There would probably be something that happened while we recorded, even if we could record, but also by like things are going to happen all throughout the day. There will be like a sort of tumbling effect, and so it'll be nice to sort of by
React and
by
see.
Monday, yeah,
Yeah.
by Monday, we should know all the conference championship games and times. We should know who's gotten fired. We should know if anyone's gotten hired. There should be things that have sort of happened, and we can recap that on Monday. So we will see you next Monday. Happy Thanksgiving to all. Um, and hopefully the Colts don't blow this in the last 3 minutes.
Uh, bye.